Welcome back to the MMA Plug, presented to you by the Talk of Colorado on 98.1 FM, Mile High Sports Radio. I'm your host, Jordan Kurtz, sitting here alongside UFC middleweight Josh Fremd. We have a special guest in the building with us here tonight, Osmosis Austin Jones. How you doing, my man?
Great, man. Thank you for having me. Excited to get on mic, have a little good conversation here. So let's talk about this fight.
Man. Hey, we out here.
Austin
Jones main event. What's up, dude?
What's up, man? Yeah, just ready to jump on this opportunity. I was originally the third to last fight on the card, and just undeniably ready to go. So main event, let's get it.
As far as the exact specifics, why don't you let the people know what is the event, what's the timeline, where can people find tickets, how can they watch you?
Yeah, so the event is this Sunday. It's a Fury Fighting Championship. You can buy tickets at their website. Go to the Instagram, click on that, and search my name, Austin Jones, and you're good to go. Be there at 12:30. That's when the doors open.
Awesome. And if you can't make it to the venue live, in person, is there a place where people can watch it otherwise?
Your boy's making his UFC Fight Pass debut.
Let's go.
There we go. And then, Austin, also, just real quick, so we're hitting off that side of things, where can people follow you?
Osmosis MMA. Just go ahead and type that in. You're good to go.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Now, you kind of mentioned that there's been some shakeup to the card, which has now put you in that position to be the main event. In the last fight that was here in Denver, the Dana White Looking for a Fight series back in November for Fury, you were the swing bout, and you ended up being the post limb, the unofficial main event.
So basically,
really.
The main event again.
But now you're officially the main event. So just what does that mean, and kind of talk us through that thought.
It means a lot, man. I think it's just me just putting in all the work in the gym. These opportunities keep showing up. Having great training partners like Josh there to push me. One of the scariest dudes to train with by far. He's even on the wall as most dangerous training partners. So,
out of here! I haven't heard a soul.
I just nobody wants to spar with them. They're terrified of you, but we always get it in. So, but yeah, it's a great opportunity, man. The crazy thing about that last card was, Dana White wasn't even at the show yet. I was earlier on the card, and then the commission came up to me and they're like, "Hey, just so you know, you're the swing bout." And I was like, "Let's fucking go," that was the opportunity and jumped on it.
Yeah.
Disclaimer.
Hey, you're good.
Austin doesn't know the radio rules, so we'll let him slide for one time. You only get one. Next one, you're out the door.
But yeah, so just kind of moving more so with that, Austin, has there been anything, you're really and truly, you're a gym rat. You're a guy who was a former Division I athlete, played running back as a Cornhusker. You've been an athlete your entire life, and the work, just like you mentioned, has kind of put you there. Just what is that? I guess, like, is it just something that's just how it is for you, or do you put any sort of extra emphasis on it with this camp, or is it just regular business for you?
A lot of it is regular business. A lot of it's just making friends with the uncertainty. I've had a lot of ups and downs, not just in fighting, but also just being an athlete when I was playing football. But one thing my old coach from Nebraska told me, Bo Pelini, was stay focused on the process and compete every day. That's always kind of stuck with me as a mantra, and just kind of riding with that. That's the main thing, is you don't know what's going to happen, but just stick with the process and just keep competing. And I think Factor X is why that's the reason why I chose Factor X. Just the competition there. I knew it was one of the best gyms in Colorado. Now it is. And we have plenty of guys that are there to push me, and I love pushing my training partners, and because as long as we're doing that, we're moving up in the rankings. So
absolutely
love that. So Austin, one of my favorite things to do going into different fights is I like to believe that every fight tells a story on your journey through fighting. Now, with this fight coming up here, is there any song, book, phrase, a quote, anything that you've kind of taken into your fight camp? I don't want to say fight camp because, like we've mentioned before, you're a gym rat. You're in the gym all the time working no matter what. It's honestly awe-inspiring as a teammate just watching you do that, and I'm excited because I've seen the work you put in for this next fight. But is there anything that, like quote-wise, music, anything that you're taking in to this fight that you're kind of trying to portray through this fight?
Yes, that's a great question. The biggest thing I've kind of done is actually one of our coaches at Factor X, Rafa. We all know Rafa from Factor X, obviously. Shout out. He told me, he's like, one of the things I used to get pumped on was watching old boxing videos and watching boxing history videos, and I started just watching those, and I'm like, the energy that these guys bring when they're boxing and like these big names, great fighters, kind of gets you pumped up. You see how they move and just like the confidence level. I think that's been a big thing, and it's just such a spiritual sport in itself, and the history behind it is just pretty amazing because it goes beyond just the sport. They really talk about the videos of things they went through, and it's very relatable. And also with just like teammates, their stories are. I see certain guys, certain boxers that relate to that teammate. So that's been a big thing, and kind of reminds me of a lot of people on our team.
We've had this saying, that you and I have talked about for quite some time now, just through the years, but become undeniable. That's just something that I feel like you've posted a lot, just that general caption to a lot of stuff on your social media and whatnot throughout this camp. Like, is that just a burning thought in your head too? You mentioned like you've had some ups and some downs, and maybe someone takes a look at the Tapology sheet and they don't get a true honest tale. So do you feel that thought of becoming undeniable is you still have something that you want to prove?
100%. That's actually my word of the year. Factorex, we choose a word of the year to go through, to pick and kind of run with it and see how far it takes you throughout the year. And that's been a big thing. I've seen a lot of adversity in the cage, but I've also seen other people face adversity and they just kind of gave up. And I think, failures, that's not the end all be all unless you choose it to be. And I think it's made me better than I ever been besides, just winning all the time. But now I'm ready to win a bunch of fights, so yeah, my record's deceiving on Tapology, but people won't know until they fight me. So,
oh, certainly,
and I love what you just said there, because it is people with this sport. It's such an ego-driven sport because it's not like we're not playing a game. This isn't football. This isn't baseball. This isn't something where at the end of the day, all right, it's just a game. It is a physical altercation, and we're fighting each other. And a lot of people. And I even know I've struggled with myself when I've taken losses, but a lot of people who lose, I've seen it come up through amateurs and different things like that. Like they can't take that hit to their ego. They can't take that type of, just that type of image, I guess you would say, and they get scared and they run from it. And that's what we're here talking about, adversity. Like you've been able to take those learning lessons, because it's not a negative thing. It's just a learning lesson, and you've been able to bounce back every time. And now that you're here getting a main event shot, your UFC Fight Pass debut, tell the people what you've kind of been working on this camp. Like what type of, have you changed anything of your approach? Have you changed anything with your diet? Are you trying to show any certain type of aspect of you in this fight?
Big time. So about January last year, I went down to Florida with Jordan Totoni, and this is one of the biggest things I regret. Is we were sitting down. It was a couple of days before weigh-ins, and he's like, "Hey man, you've had a great camp. You look amazing." He's like, "All I want you to do, man, is just take it all in. Just be the best fighter you can possibly be, and just enjoy this whole moment." And I was listening to him, and I was kind of nodding, like, "Yeah, man, I get it. I've heard this before," and I truly didn't believe it in that moment. And since then, it's just kind of stuck with me. It's like the biggest thing is like you can do all the training. You can be like, I'm going to focus on my strengths. I'm going to hammer down my weaknesses, this, and that. But it really doesn't matter unless you take it all in. And part of taking it all in is just being present in that moment, not obsessing over the outcome. The outcome is going to be the outcome, regardless of how hard you work, how hard you didn't work. But as long as you're taking it in, there's no regrets. So that's been the biggest thing for this fight camp, is just having no regrets and just really enjoying the moment and not thinking too far ahead. Just go out there and every second of that fight, just be there. So I think that's a big piece that, at least me as a fighter, have missed out on, and I haven't really gotten to showcase it. So that's my goal.
Let's talk matchup for a second. Without pulling the curtain too far back, what are maybe some areas of opportunity that you feel like you might have in terms of like your keys to victory? Like, is there any particular emphasis or focus that maybe people could be looking for when they see you step into the cage on Sunday?
But yeah, just me just being elusive. That's about it. That's it. I'm not going to reveal too much.
I mean, it's totally understandable on that
now
side.
You
of
see
things.
me? No, you don't.
Magic Man.
Hey, Osmosis, this is a real serious question, like probably the most serious question that you're going to get here in this interview. What are we walking out to Sunday?
Ooh, man, I got a couple options.
You got a
for
couple
it.
options, yeah?
It might be my last one. Beat It by Michael Jackson. Might be Bad by Michael Jackson. Could be Pretty Young Thing. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling the MJ.
So we're throwing the MJ flavor.
We might have to. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
last time the crowd really loved it. They were actually singing along to it. And it's like, sometimes I'm like, man, maybe I should walk out to a song that everyone loves because it's going to stick. We're always talking about the brand as a fighter.
Yeah.
Not just some song that nobody's ever heard of. So, but even though I like it, but we should make sure the fans like it too.
I like that take on that. It's a good idea, yeah.
It is. I mean, it's understandable because
It's no ambitious as a rider, but
No, but I've had that thought in my head though. Like ambition as a rider to me has a lot of meaning, but yeah, when you're thinking about like rocking a crowd, you
also
know,
a crowd mover.
it is. Yeah.
You think so?
Because everyone
Oh, I
starts
do.
fighting. You
Yeah.
know, they start fighting in the crowd when they hear
Yeah,
that
I
too,
think
you
it's
know?
just one of the
Yeah.
natural anthems that people hear. Like they hear the bump, 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 bump.
Like no, they know Josh Fram's coming.
Like you know, like I feel like that's just like a fight anthem type
Yeah.
of song, you know. But an even harder hitting question, you know, because journalism, right? We got to ask the real
The tough
questions
Here we
here.
go.
Mike Tyson or DC?
Get out of here, Curtsy.
Dude, we already had this conversation. You got me on the video as well.
Yeah, but
go ahead
on
and
the
post that.
YouTube.
But I'm going Mike Tyson, man. I mean, that's the childhood
I should
hero.
let you
you.
guys know. Austin
Numbers are
is
on
a
my
very-
side.
Austin is a very high level brown belt. He's very good at wrestling, and he's picking the boxer.
Because he's a smart
And
guy.
he just said, oh, he's because he's my childhood hero. Do you know?
You just talked about being elusive. He didn't get hit
I'm
too
about
hard
to-
last week.
About to pull out my psychology degree here, onions. No, let's move forward. We're here to talk about Austin.
Here's the thing. Cormier is saying, John Jones, get your stuff together.
I didn't hear it.
And Mike Tyson's talking about punching through somebody's skull. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's done down the street a couple times as a 13-year-old.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that that's a very accurate and a fair assessment, but I digress.
Okay.
Moving along.
Okay. John Jones and Mike Tyson. What changes?
John Jones is a larger human.
DC's massive. He's short, but is Mike
He-
Tyson and DC the same height?
He's rotund.
Rotund.
Jesus.
But okay, so back to business here, Austin. Now, in terms of something that you may just not like in terms of your game plan, but what can outside of elusiveness, is there a certain sort of emotion or something that fans may come to expect to see from you when you come in there this weekend?
You're just going to see me in the zone. That's the biggest thing. Like I said, you know, obviously it's the main event. There's going to be a lot of people there on my side, obviously, but I've just been focusing on just me and him in there, you know, at the end of the day. So that's the biggest thing, is just zoning everything out, ignoring the noise. But the noise will happen after the fight.
How do you deal with it when you have an opponent shakeup or something that happens, you know, in the last couple of waning weeks from camp, especially when it may be some sort of stylistic switch up?
I mean, in the past, it's been good and bad. That's the big thing I've kind of been focusing on, is accepting the uncertainty, but also just coming ready to fight. At the end of the day, like, you can watch all the film you want. This guy's a striker, but he might come in there and try to take me down. We really don't know. I think the more you try to calculate all these things, it kind of slows you down a bit. So main thing is just me trying to get him to figure me out. So that's the main thing.
I like that. So switching gears here, Austin. It's kind of a double-edged question. It's a two-part question. What do you, when you're cutting weight, do you have any vices?
Not really. I mean, I'm more just make the weight. Yeah, I'm not
Do
quite
you,
sure. What about you? What's
are
yours?
you ice cubes kind of guy while you're cutting weight?
No, I'll end up eating that.
You don't eat it all? Do you
You're you want some
Skittles?
Jolly Ranchers?
You like Jolly Ranchers?
None of that candy stuff, because I'll end up
No?
eating the whole bag. Yeah. And Coach gonna be like, Coach Martin's gonna be like, did you eat something? I'm like, nah. You were 3 pounds over last night. Now you're 5. How'd that happen?
I just ask because I know, like, me personally, when I'm cutting weight, like, it's Skittles or Jolly Ranchers or some type of candy like that
Tic
to
Tacs.
keep my Tic Tacs, just to keep my mouth watering because I can't stand that cotton mouth feeling. Yeah, dry mouth. I'm not 92 yet. I don't need dry mouth.
I mean, people always mention from the videos alone, they're like, Josh really likes his Skittles. Because they're always in view from the camera. Like every week they see him like, we need to get this man a deal over here, you know? Like, get Skittles.
Marshawn
Where you at?
Lynch, who? Josh Friend loves Skittles.
I got a question for you.
All right.
I know you're a big R&B guy, but what kind of music do you listen to for your weight cut? Do you listen to anything?
For my weight cut, it really would. It would be anything really. I know my last weight cut, I wanted to play my music, you know, like just some '90s R&B, some hanging out music. But we went back and forth. Caruso was throwing on some like death metal type weird stuff.
No, we're cutting.
And, you know, I had Vince Pichel with me, so we were listening to some Rob Zombie and some type of stuff like that. So, you know, yeah, when I'm cutting weight, I just lay back, chill, R&B, maybe some rap. Or once I start getting like close to weight, that's when I'll turn it to like rap and more intense music because that's when I know I'm ready.
Either way, you're doing this. This is the Josh Frim. Put their hands together.
Yep. And then you really know that it's real once the hands go behind the back and there's a little skip. You know, start skipping a couple of steps to the left, skipping a couple of steps to the right. And
What would be your go-to?
As far as like in that moment, I feel like I would rather have something relaxing through the majority of it.
Yeah.
You know, like, or even just now, like, you know, after training at the gym, like sitting in there for, you know, 30 minutes or more, like for our sits, like regularly at night, like I throw on just the weekend playlist.
Yeah.
Like,
that's good.
just simply because like there's a good mix of, you know, different songs that kind of can just take you through the tide of it. And I know just like I can start, most of them are all within around that like 3 to 4 minute range. So in my head, like I can count like how many songs are left like in the session, or you know what I mean? So that I don't know, that's kind of mine just because it and I also like listening to something during those sauna sessions or during like conditioning that keeps my mind off of what I'm doing. Like, so if it's like songs that I know the words to, like that just takes away the focus of like, well, what's happening to my body right now sucks. Or like, you know, just doing road work and running miles or, you know, sprints, whatever it might be. Like, I hate this right now. Like, this is miserable, but at least, you know, I know every single word to All Eyes on Me or something like that. And I could get through it. And okay, there's 4 minutes off the clock. You know what I mean?
I like that.
It's funny you say that because it was a fight back in Nebraska, and like there's one weight cut. I was listening to like some meditation, like spiritual music, and Brandon Roybal was there, and he's like, "Hey, bro, can you cut that off? It's like it's making me hotter. I feel like I'm in a desert sweating or something." I was like, "All right, bro, let's put on some Nipsey Hussle or something."
Speaking of weight cuts out to Nebraska, this was one of the wildest drives and most insane experiences of my lifetime. Austin Jones had a couple of pounds left to go before you were the main event for this card. Also, the St. Patty's beatdown back in 2019. We go out to Nebraska for this. Caruso comes up to me right before we go. Hey, I'm not going to lie to you. This drive's going to suck. You're going to have to go the entire way. Still got a couple of pounds to get off. You're going to have to roll the windows all the way up and put it all the way on 90. And so we rode for like the 4.5, 5 hours to North Platte, Nebraska with the heater blasting on 90, the windows up. And Austin is one of the most mentally strong and just integral, like mental fortitude type of guys that you could imagine, like won't break from that sort of thing. But he was even reaching for the window a couple of times. And I had to shut the window switch off and like, okay, like, nope, we got to go about another 4 songs and then we can have a couple of minutes of fresh air. And then we got to do it all again.
I don't remember any of the songs either. I was leaning on the window just like.
He made weight. That's what matters.
This was in a car, right?
This was
a car.
My car, yeah.
Your car?
Yeah.
Yeah, your big car? Okay. Because I remember like I was just gonna ask because I remember in high school this one time we had a heavyweight who had to do something similar, but we were in a van and he laid on the floor. Did you lay on the floor or did you lay on the?
I was in the front seat.
Just the front seat with the heat. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that was a wild ride. But again, made weight, went out there, got the win in the main event. Business was handled.
Tell them about the diner we had to go to.
Oh my god. I don't want to name the diner because I don't want to get sued, but this diner that we had out in North Platte, Nebraska was the absolute most horrendous dining experience that you can possibly imagine. So we all get there. And first and foremost, it should be noted that we went to a steakhouse first. And thanks, Nate Smith, for turning us away from being able to go to the steakhouse. So we end up at this place, this little diner that's basically like a giant Airstream. And that should have been our first clue to turn around. But again, in North Platte, there's really not a whole lot of options. We go in, we sit there, we first get our food, and Caruso is one of the first guys to get his food. And Caruso, if you know him, Coach Randy Caruso, he runs a little hot as it is. You know what I mean? But his chicken sandwich came out and it was undercooked. And so him, rather than trying to be, an energy vampire and a party pooper to everybody else right there, he just gets up and goes and walks and sits at a different part of the restaurant just by himself. So he's away from everybody and just kind of like venting and letting the steam off by himself.
Talk about a self-aware man.
Yes. But then the rest of us start getting served out our food. I was supposed to have a waffle. It was more like a waffle cone. It was seriously a hockey puck. Like Yusuf Zalal can attest to this, that I could pick it up, and Austin can too, that I was just ping, ping, ping. Like my waffle is just like literally like crumbling.
Like, can I get some ice cream or something with that? Like,
yeah. Dustin Jacoby, he gets, I can't remember exactly
he ordered vegetables or
what
whatever,
it was, but
right?
yeah, he was supposed to have steamed greens along with his meal. It comes out in one of those tiny little like saucer bowls or like those tiny little dipping bowls, 3 florets of cauliflower. And they come out.
That's not even green.
That's what Dustin said. He's like, hey, this isn't even green. And like, this was when Dustin was set to make his comeback fight.
Well.
And when Matt Foster ended up taking the dive the next night and falling down the stairs.
Yeah.
But Dustin was sitting there right before, and he's, my last fight was for a Glory World title. What in the hell am I doing here? Yeah. So it was quite the experience.
Did you?
there.
Oh, yeah. Here's a big question. Did you eat it? Or did you complain?
Oh, we did, but what were you gonna do? Like, you had
You must not have had anyone's girl with you. I would have told my girl go straight and yell.
Oh,
Like, I'm not saying anything. I probably would just ate it. But if my girl was there, like, hey, go, I need this fixed.
Yeah, we would have had a little bit more help there, but I think it was a situation of, as a whole, that town was, North Platte is a small town in the first place.
Yeah.
They were not prepared for the flood of people that was coming through the door right then and there. And yeah, it was a complete donk show.
The lady was by herself, right? To her defense, she held it down because that place was packed, and she was like the only one there and a cook. I think that was it.
Yeah,
she was cooking.
It was
too
the
as
two
well.
of them, and
Yeah.
she was helping. But still, nonetheless, like, you can't be serving undercooked poultry out here. Like, you're gonna kill somebody. That's a public health risk out here. But we have to get to a break here. This is the MMA Plug. Thank you so much, Austin Jones, for joining us here along in this segment. We have the big yins, Josh Fremd. You can follow him along at Josh Fremd MMA. I'm Jordan Kirch. You can follow me at Comments from the Peanut Gallery. This is the MMA Plug, presented to you by the Talk of Colorado on 98.1 FM, Mile High Sports Radio.
LADs, we be big, pimpin' down at PAT. It's just that jigger man, Pimp C and BUNB, 'cause we be.
I'm Dalton Reisner, and as a football player, physical strength is important, but so is mental strength.
Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. That helps us continue to produce this original MMA content and bring it for you every single week. Tune in to the MMA Plug presented by DenverSportsBetting.com on 98.1 FM, Mile High Sports Radio on Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 p.m.
or live stream at DenverSportsBetting.com/radio.